Hi everyone. Am I audible? So the topic for today is structure of skin. So let's have a look. Let me just check if I'm audible. The structure of skin. Yeah. Okay. Alright, so one second. Yeah. So before I start, let me introduce myself. I am Vani Kari, biology educator at Unacademy. I'm an engineer with bachelor's and master's degree in biotechnology and a B.Ed degree. Also a founder of a startup where I grow microgreens by vertical farming technology. So let's get started. So join with us in Telegram. So for homework and class notes, you can join the channel Vani Kari ICSE class 9 and 10. Okay. So Telegram channel of Unacademy ICSE and ISC both. So this is the link. So link you will find in the description box. So you can click on the link and join the channel, that is Telegram channel of Unacademy ICSE and ISC boards. Okay, so then Unacademy free special class features, like on Unacademy platform. So we are conducting a special class. Okay, and these are free classes. All right, so there also you have an option of chat, okay, and emojis. So during a live class you can interact with the educator, and you can interact with the other learners as well. So because so if a discussion session is going on, so you can have an interaction using any of these chats and emojis. So let's say you want to ask a question and there are a lot of comments keep on coming. So there is a separate tab for you all, that is a question tab, where you can type in your question, attach an image and send it to the educator during a live class. So educator is gonna get a notification, okay, and they'll be clearing the learner's doubt. Okay, so this is during a live class. Then also educator can conduct a quiz here, so that is which we call as a poll war. Also we will be giving the polls for you all. Okay, so questions will be there on the slide, the options will be there, so you will get the options, like you can choose any of this. So you'll get a poll when we give. Okay, so you can choose. So based on that we are also sharing a leaderboard. Okay, so leaderboard is going to show that your ranking. Okay, so first rank, second and the third rank, so up to 10 ranks we can see this. So here in this case a poll leaderboard, so you can compete with your friends also in the class itself. Okay, so this is it will be nice, it will be an interactive session, so you can take a lot of benefit from this one. Basically all the educators right now, they have started with one shot revisions, and they have started with a poll war also, like for different chapters. So this is gonna be helpful for you all. Okay, so other than that we have the plus subscription feature. So there is a plus classes, so these are not free classes. So plus classes features I'll explain you. So you can learn live from the comfort of your home. Okay, so unlimited access to all the courses. So there are different courses which are launched by different educators, so you will have access to all the courses. Okay, if you are going for a plus subscription, then top educators of India are going to take the classes on one platform, that is Unacademy platform. So there is a regular doubt clearing session. So after about every 3 session, the fourth session which we conduct, so this is the fourth session, so this fourth session will be your doubt clearing session. So any doubts you have related to the topics that are previously covered, so you can clear your doubts in this particular session. And also let's say you do not have any doubts, okay, so we can conduct the revision of these classes, and also we can conduct the poll war. It is completely your choice again. Okay, so doubt clear session is completely dedicated for learners itself. Then exhaustive coverage of a syllabus, like a complete syllabus will be covered. Mentorship and guidance is given, study material is given, then practice tests are given, live test series. Then batch courses. So if you want to learn in Hindi, so there is an option to learn in Hindi as well. If you want to learn in English, so there is an option to learn in English as well. So this is again completely your choice. So you can go for any of the batches, be it a English batch or a Hindi batch. Okay. So daily practice session, weekly mock test series, live quizzes, daily MCQ and subjective test series will also be there. So these are going to help you crack your finals. Okay, so let's say you're planning for a subscription, so you can use my referral code VANIYT. Okay, so currently we have an offer where you are going to get 20% discount. Okay, so with a referral code. Okay, so you need to use this referral code VANIYT. So with that you will be getting 20% discount. So let's say you want to try like how exactly this works, so you can try with 6 months of subscription. Okay, and let's say you are planning to complete your class 10, so you can go for 12 months of subscription. If you are planning to complete 11 and 12 as of now itself, then you can go for this as well. So depending on your convenience, you can go for any of these months of subscription, and you can see that the cost goes on reducing as you go for higher months of subscription. So it's better you go for class 10 as still you guys are in class 9. Okay, so this is gonna help you. So you can go with this one or this one again. Okay, so you can go for 12 months of subscription. So again, this is gonna help you crack your finals. So we will be revising in these plus classes. We are conducting diagram based question, the diagrams we are explaining, then short answer type, the MCQs. We are going to discuss everything like the with respect to your ICSE evaluation. So we are going to discuss everything in these plus classes. All right, so double dhamaka offer is there. So with the referral code, that is VANIYT. Okay, so this is my referral code, so you will be getting 20% discount. Okay, so that is the double dhamaka offer. Okay, so for 6 to 12 CBSE IIT, so you can go for any of this subscription. Okay, so those who are watching this session, so if you are planning for any of these as well, so you can go for any of these subscription with the referral code VANIYT. Okay, so let's say you are buying 12 months or above subscription. Okay, so you can get extra 2 months subscription. So let's say you are going for 12 months. Okay, so basically you are getting 14 months of subscription. Okay, and also on top of it, if you use the referral code VANIYT, so you will be getting 20% discount as well. Okay, so this offer is valid till the 18th of Feb, that is only till today. Okay, so this is only for the first 500 subscribers, so go for it today, because again we don't know whether you are going to get this chance or not. So there is 20% off, and also you are getting 2 months free here. So this offer is valid only for today, like 18th of Feb. Okay, so you can go for this offer today itself. Okay, so this is the one. So by 12 months or more, you will be getting extra 2 months. Okay, so if you have any queries, okay, so get in touch with your counselor. So confused about the preparation journey, so you can call them. So this is the number. So or having queries about the subscription, or want to know about the latest offers, so you are just one call away. So call on this number, and you don't forget to add the code, that is VANIYT. Okay, so only with the code you will be getting a off, that is 20% discount you are getting only with the code. So don't forget to add any of the codes that are mentioned. Okay, so this is the code VANIYT for 20% discount, and plus to what we say, that is 12 month subscription if you are taking, so 2 months will be free. So let's get started. Let me just check this again. Okay, chats is not visible, but let's see. Alright, so structure of skin. So we'll start with the structure of skin here. Okay, So this is from the chapter the skin, the jack of all trades. So you know how many functions the skin does. Okay, so we will see each and every function performed by a skin. Okay, so topics that I'll be covering: so introduction, what exactly is skin, then function of skin, the structure of skin, we will see in today's session. Okay, so moving on to the introduction. So skin is not just a simple covering, you know, we have, like, you know, throughout our body, so there is a covering. So skin is the major, like, you know, it is a major organ which is there in our body. So this is not just a simple covering. What exactly does it do? So it is not just covering the body, it is performing many functions. So if you are thinking that it is just a cover, no, it's a big wrong thing. Okay, so it is basically lots of functions are performed by your skin. Okay, so we will see what are those functions. Okay, so skin is not just a simple covering to hold the body substances inside. Okay, so it is the most active organ. So how do we say that it is a most active organ? You know, continuously old cells are being replaced, new cell formation is occurring. So there is a continuous cell division that is occurring in your skin, and you know it is performing lot of functions. We will see that. So functioning in numerous ways. So many of our recognition features, this is one among them. So this comes from the complexion, hair pattern, etc. Okay, so the most apparent feature of an aged person, a healthy youth or a tender infant, is the texture of a skin. So you know, so you can say, you can look at the individual, and depending on their skin itself, you will see that whether this individual is you know, aged person, like, you know, old person, or you know, he is a young one, or he is just a baby. So looking at the skin also we can mention that. So whether loose or wrinkled, tight or smooth, so this is anyway going to perform its function in a well manner. So you will learn all the several interesting things about the skin. That is why it is called as a jack of all trades. Like, you know, it can perform much more functions. Okay, so it is having a capacity, you know, where it is performing lot more than you imagine. Okay, so as named by some, while some others would even call it master of many tasks. Okay, so why do they call it as a master of many tasks? Because it is performing many of the functions. Okay, so this is the largest organ. So skin is the largest organ of our body. It is going to form about, you know, it is forming about 15% of the total body weight. You know, whatever body weight you have, so 15% is contributed by just the skin. Okay, so that means it is the largest organ which is forming about 15% of the body weight. So primarily the skin is an almost impermeable barrier. So what does that mean? It does not allow anything to enter. So only if a damage is there, then you know the germs can enter, or otherwise, or a pathogens can enter, or otherwise it is impermeable. So skin is almost impermeable barrier. So why do we call it as a barrier? Barrier means the one which does not allow anything inside easily, that is inside our body. So now here I have a skin. Okay, so nothing can enter through my skin inside my body. But you know, if a damage is there, so now I have a damaged skin over here. So through this damaged skin, the lot of germs can take entry. Okay, so we will see, we have a different mechanism also for that, but today's class will be on skin. Okay, so what is skin? So skin is the outermost covering of the body. Okay, so it is stretched all over. So you know, it is not just present as a patch in one particular space. So this is present all over the body, which is in the form of a layer. So there are many structures and glands. So what all structures are there, glands are there? So there are derivatives of skin you will be studying in this chapter only. Okay, so derivatives of skin are there. So many of the derivatives are there, derivative also we can mention. So these are going to help in production of, you know, sweat, oily secretion, sweat secretion, milk secretion. So this is all occurring because of the derivatives of the skin itself. Okay, so these are structures or glands what we can mention. So let's have a look at the function of the skin. So shall we start? Yes, anybody has any doubt here? So functions of skin, when we mention, so skin or the integument, okay, so we can also mention it as an integument. So I hope you remember, like, you know, you have studied about the a plant chapter, a plant reproduction, okay. So there you see that the seed is having a seed coat, that is seed covering, and that we call as inner integument and outer integument, the testa and the tegmen, okay. Integument is just the covering or the skin, what we can mention. So serves a number of important functions as follow. So one is protection. So it is providing a protection. So protection is the primary function of the skin. So what exactly is the primary function now? So protection, because it is a barrier now. It does not allow any microbe to enter or a pathogen to enter unless there is a damage. All right, so now it affords protection in 4 different ways. So one thing is it protects the underlying tissues from mechanical shock. So now when we mention protection, so it's not just that it is not allowing the microbes to entry, so it is providing, you know, below, down here inside your skin. Now this is a skin, okay. So below there are many tissues might be there, or there can be organs also. So basically your tissues which are there, so they are being provided protection with your skin, okay. So that is from the mechanical shocks. It holds the body fluid, which is that body fluid, okay, inside, and prevents the excessive lot of water by evaporation. Okay, so holds the body fluid. So let's say if there is a skin damage, okay, what will happen? The blood is gonna flow out. All right, so it will make sure that the blood has remained safe inside. So only if a damage is there, then there is a chance that bleeding can occur. Okay, so body fluid with respect to water also. Okay, so water is retained by your body because water is required. Now again, when you are getting, you know, because of the surrounding temperature, okay, so this might be a hot, okay, so it is a summer, so too much hot is there, so temperature is hot surrounding. So what can happen is, so because of this, you know, because the surrounding temperature is too hot, your body will try to cool down your body. So how exactly it is trying to cool down your body? So that is by preventing the excessive loss of water. So basically it is trying to cool down the body, okay. So now here in this case, now in case of cooling down, anyway sweat production occurs. So only if the surrounding is hot, sweat production occurs, or otherwise if the surrounding temperature is cold, then your body, I mean your skin, does not allow simply to lose a water. So it prevents the excessive loss of water as well. It prevents the entry of harmful substances, basically the disease causing pathogens or germs. All right, then it protects the body against the excessive ultraviolet light, you know. So there is a compound epithelium which is present. So it is not just one layer of epithelium, so many layers are there. So let's say this is now a basilar membrane onto which these epithelial cells are located. So you know, so this is now, let's say, epithelial cells. So like this, there are many layers of cells which are present, okay. It's not that only a one layer of cell is present, many layers of cells are present, and these many layers of cells are going to provide a protection against the ultraviolet light, okay, that is coming from the sun, which is potentially very harmful. So what does it do? So ultraviolet light, if we get exposed too much, so it can lead to cancer, that is uncontrolled division, okay, uncontrolled cell division will start off, okay. So in order to avoid that, you know, the multiple layers of a skin is there, that is multiple layer of a epithelial tissue is there, which is providing a protection to the underlying tissues. So now moving on to the other parts of sensation, okay. So our skin serves as a sense organ for touch, pain, pressure. So you can feel, you know, the touch, pain, pressure, heat, everything you can feel. That is because there are sensation. There is a specialized epithelial tissues there, okay. So this specialized epithelial tissue is the one which is responsible for all of these sensation. Okay, so this is a specialized, one second. Okay, so specialized epithelium. Temperature regulation. So skin prevents the loss of heat in cold weather. So this I already discussed. So if a cold weather is there, okay, so heat loss is prevented. If a hot weather is there, then so basically to cool down a body, sweat production is occurring. So you will read about this one in thermoregulation or body heat regulation. So you will be studying about that. So that is one function done by the skin. Next is storage of food. So this is also going to store a food. So reserve food in the form of a layer of fat. Okay, so skin, when we mention, so there is actually epidermis, all right, then there is a dermis, all right, so then after that a hypodermis is there. So there is a hypodermis also, and hypodermis is the one which is having a layer of fat. So basically storage of energy is done, because fat serves as a storage of energy, like so fat, whenever it is required, so this fat can be broken down, and glucose supply can be done, and energy synthesis can be done. Okay, so excretion, the skin assists in the process of excretion. So how? That is through the sweating, by eliminating the water, salts, to a very limited extent urea as well. But the sweating or the sweat glands, what are there? So those are not considered as an excretory organ, because the sweat production will occur only if the surrounding temperature is too hot. Okay, and why it is occurring? So this sweat is basically a way of cooling down your body from this surrounding condition. So it is your body is trying to cool down itself, because too much of temperature is there on the outside, too hot temperature is there. Okay, so that is why we cannot say that the sweat glands are excretory organ. All right, then synthesis of vitamin D. So skin can synthesize vitamin D when exposed to a sunshine. Okay, so that is why you might have heard, so a lot of people say go in the morning, expose yourself to the sun, or go in the evening, because very light sunlight will be there, and a better vitamin D synthesis can occur. So if we are going out in the afternoon, it is too much of UV light. Okay, so because of that, if you are exposed to too much of UV light, it can lead to cancer. So that is why the skin can synthesize the vitamin D when exposed to the sunshine. So minor function and its mechanism is not yet fully understood. In fact, too much sunshine may cause tanning also, and other ill effects including the skin cancer. So that is why too much of a sunshine is not recommended. Okay, so skin on our fingers, the palms, or forms the ridges and grooves which provide a more efficient grip. Okay, so you might have seen here on the palm as well. Okay, so there are grooves and ridges, so you can see here, so it is not a flat area. Okay, so there are many ridges are there, there are many grooves, so you can just touch, you can just move your hand over the other, so you don't feel that it is a completely flat surface. So you will find the grooves and ridges over there. Okay, so these grooves and ridges are going to provide a more efficient grip on to hold on to something. Okay, so skin on our fingers as well as palms, so this is gonna help in getting a grip. Okay, so I hope it is clear with respect to function of skin. So many of the functions are performed. So all these, one is protection, this is sensation, temperature regulation, food storage, excretion, okay, synthesis of vitamin D, and to hold on to something. So we need to hold on to something, right? So that is when we can feel, sense something. Okay, so that sensation, only if you are having a sensation, then you can you can perform a function easily. So that is again provided by the specialized epithelial cell, which can give you a feel of sensation or a sensation feeling. Okay, so moving on to the next one. Alright, So structure of the skin, okay. So principal components of the human skin are as follows, okay. So this is now with respect to human skin. So there is a skin proper, then there is derivatives of the skin, okay. So skin, when we mention, so there is a epidermis and a dermis. So here the epidermis and dermis we will see, okay. And derivatives of the skin, anyway, we are not going to discuss in today's session. So I'm just going to discuss about the skin proper, okay. So these are gonna take time, all right. So today's session I'll discuss about the skin proper. In that we will see what exactly is epidermis and a dermis. And now when we mention about the epidermis, so it is having a cornified layer, a granular layer and a germinative layer. In case of dermis, we can find elastic fibers, the blood vessels, nerves, etc. can be found. So let's get started. So now with respect to skin, so you can see here this layer what you find, okay. So this is forming a epidermis, okay. So this itself is a epidermis what you see, okay. So microscopically, so you can see this epidermis. So it is not just like, straight line. So there is this layer what you find here. So it is arranged like this, okay. So you can see deep down covering this one also, it is present over here. So this is going to form the epidermis and this one is forming the dermis part, okay. So this part is going to form the dermis one. So here epidermis and the inner dermis, okay. So there is a epidermis part and the inner dermis part. So epidermis is the outer thinner part of the skin. So as compared to dermis, you can see that this is the outer one and it is a thinner one. And you also can see here, it's not that only one layer is there. So here itself you can find many layers, and at this particular point also you can see many layers there. Just a second, I'll just check this. All right. Okay. So now with respect to the same, okay, so epidermis is the outer thinner part of the skin. So this is the outer part, a thinner part, okay. So it is formed of stratified epithelium. You know what is stratified meaning is? Stratified meaning is compound. Compound meaning is again, so it is not just a one layer, okay. So multiple layers are there. So if one layer is there, okay, so one layer of a epithelial tissue. So let's say this is one layer of a epithelial tissue now. So these are all cells which are there. Then in that case, what do we call it? We call it as a simple epithelium, okay. So this one is a simple epithelium. Only one layer of a epithelial tissue is there. So stratified or compound, okay. So when we mention stratified or a compound, it is not just one layer, you will find multiple layers there, okay. So this is formed of a stratified, so multiple layers. So here only one layer you will find, here you can find multiple layers of a epithelial tissue, okay. So now with respect to that, so it is formed of a stratified epithelium. So you can see multiple layers here, multiple layers here, and here again a layer, okay. So now here at places the epidermis becomes thicker and hard as on the palm, okay. So on palm you can see that, so this is the same epidermis but it is getting thicker also, all right. So you can see at places the epidermis has become thicker, okay, and also it has become harder. So on the palm and on the sole, okay. So you can see that this is basically very thick and it is hard, because again a providing grip has to be done, okay. And also on the heel, so this is on palm, sole, especially on the heels as well. So this is devoid of blood vessel, the epidermis part. So you do not see blood vessels there, okay. So epidermis part is not having a blood vessel, so that is why it is a devoid of blood vessels at all the places, be it a granule. So this one is stratum corneum, okay. So this part what you find here, so this whole layer, so I'll just change the color so that you can clearly see this one, okay. Just a second. So this part what you find, okay, so this blue color what I am labeling here now, okay, So this part is going to give us a stratum corneum. Okay, so this is completely a stratum corneum or a stratified corneum, or you can see here cornified layer also we can mention. All right, so it is devoid of blood vessels at all the places. The epidermis shows three regions, that is sub layers are there, the depth wise. The outermost cornified layer, so this is the outermost cornified layer. Next you see the middle granular, so you see granule like structures, so this is the middle granular layer. So I'll just change the color and highlight that one now. Okay, so 1 second. Okay, so this one what you find here. Okay, so this part, this all these cells what you see, is this visible? I've taken the purple color, maybe I should take some other color. Okay, so this one, okay, so this one what you find. Okay, so this layer, so this all these which are found. Okay, so these are going to form what layer? So this is forming a granular layer. Okay, so granular layer, middle granular layer, so that means it will have all these cells again after the cell division. And then the inner Malfidian layer. Okay, so inner Malfidian layer what you see, so this I have already labeled in here red color. Okay, so that is one layer you can find here. Okay, so there can be 2 to 3 layers, not exactly one layer again, so because cell division keeps on happening. So this layer, that is stratum malfigi, what is there? So this is the layer, the red one. Okay, so this red layer at the end what you find here, so this is the one which is having a capacity to undergo division. Okay, so that will be continuously undergoing. So that is how when the skin is always a skin we lose in the form of a powder. Okay, so when you can observe it more during the winter season, so we lose a powder like white powder, whitish. So that is basically, we can clearly see everywhere, I mean every day this is happening, but clearly we can see during the winter as our skin is completely dry, as much of oil secretion is not occurring those times. Okay, so now in that case what we can say is, so the layer that we are losing, so how are we losing it? Because this Malfidian layer, what is there, so this keeps on dividing. Okay, as it keeps on dividing, it will start pushing this granular layer, the second layer what you find, so this will be pushed up. Okay, as it will be pushed up, this new layer, like this layer of what is the stratum corneum, the first layer what is there, so that will shed off. Next again there is a pushing which is done by the granular layer, again they will go on exposing, so these will go on pushing, that is granular layer will go on pushing, and so it itself is going to become later on the stratum corneum. And again the Malfidian layer what is there, so it goes on forming a new cells. So as the cell division occurs, so these will be pushed upward. So that is how we are losing a skin. Okay, so that is a layer of a skin, a dead cells what we call. All right, so let's have a look at this one. So this is the layer what is shown here, so this is forming the epidermis. Okay, so you can see hair follicles, so this and all we will see. Okay, so this is forming the dermis layer. All right, then free ending and all is mentioned here. So this is with respect to the follicles that are there. This is a hair, actually hair shaft what is mentioned. Okay, so let's have a look. So cornified layer or a stratum corneum, so this is the outermost layer. Okay, so this is the outermost layer which will have several piled up layers of flattened dead cells. So all these are dead cells. Okay, so all of these are dead cells, and it is a stratum or a stratified meaning is compound. It is not just one layer, multiple layers of epithelial tissues are there. Okay, so this is a multiple layers are there. Okay, so you can see here, so multiple layers are mentioned. All right, so these cells are made of a horny protein called as a keratin. Okay, so now these dead cells, so let's say this is a dead cell now, so this dead cell is filled with the keratin. Okay, so keratin protein will be there. So now this one is a cell. Okay, and this one is a keratin protein which is present inside. So this will be having a keratin protein. So this can be found in case of nail, the hair, horn, hooves, silk. Okay, so silkworm, what you find, so everywhere this is the keratin one. Okay, horny protein called as the keratin also found in all of this. So these cells are continually worn away, that means they keep on shedding. Okay, so they are shed and are replaced from beneath, that is below. Okay, so from below, as the cell division occurs, so this Malfidian layer keeps on dividing and it pushes the cells, that is it pushes the granular layer, and this granular layer again pushes the cornified layer, and that is how we lose a layer of a epithelium, not a layer of a skin, layer of a epithelium. Okay, so now here in this case, so replaced from beneath by those arising from the deeper Malfidian layer. Okay, so the cornified layer is tougher, okay, and it offers resistance to three things. So what are the three things there? Mechanical damage, bacterial infection, loss of water by evaporation. So it is not just one layer, since multiple layers are there, so basically loss of water is occurring because multiple layers are there, so easily water evaporation cannot occur. Okay, then bacterial infection, that is because bacteria cannot enter as it is impermeable. Permeable means it allows, impermeable means it does not allow any of the pathogens to take entry. So this one will not allow any of the bacterial infection unless there is a damage in the skin. Okay, so only if a damage is there, then microbes can enter, and that is how it can lead to infection. But otherwise, your cells, your skin does not allow any of these germs to enter. Then other than that, mechanical damage, so basically all the inner parts are being provided protection by the skin itself. Next, granular layer. So this layer, what you find, okay, so I'll change the color, just a second. So this layer, what you find here, so until here, so this is a granular layer. Okay, so granular layer is thin, okay, as compared to the others, and it is a middle one consisting of 2 or 3 sub layers can be there. Okay, so now this is one layer, here one layer you can find, and here one layer. So usually 2 to 3 sub layers can be there. So this is a corneum itself. All right, so now here in this case, so this is in this case, yeah, gradually it gives way to the outermost cornified layer as the cell division occurs in the Malfidian layer. So it will push the granular layer upward, and that is how gradually it gives a way to the outermost cornified layer as the pressure is built from inside. So as the cell division occurs, so new cells will push away the granular layer, and this granular layer will push away the cornified layer, and that is how older or dead cells are gone by. Okay, so next is the Malvikian layer or a stratum malfigi, okay, also called as a germinative layer. So why do we call it as a stratum malfigi or a germinative layer? So basically germinative layer we will mention because the cell division is occurring there. So this is the innermost region of the epidermis. The cells are actively dividing, so this is very important. Okay, so actively dividing to produce new cells which press and shift outward to replace the worn out cells. So these are the worn out cells. So in order to replace those worn out shells which are there in the stratum corneum, so now this Malfidian layer will push them out. Okay, so this is replace the worn out cells of the outermost cornified layer. So that is why here the active division is occurring, and they have mentioned stratum again. So what is the meaning of stratum? It is a stratified or it is a compound. That means so 2 to 3 layers, 4 are there, so many layers can be there which are actually undergoing a cell division. Okay, so coloration of the skin we will have a look at. Okay, so coloration of skin is basically the complexion of a face. So we know we have seen different complexion, right? Like now if we are talking here, so there is a wheat colored complexion, then there is very fair colored complexion, then there is a dark colored complexion. So different complexions are there. So that complexion is mainly because of the melanin pigment. Okay, so this melanin pigment is contained in the cells of the Malfidian layer. Okay, so where exactly do you find the melanin there? So it is not in the cornified layer, it is not in the granular layer, it is in fact this, so you know, the complexion, the melanin what is there, so that we can find in this Malfidian layer. Okay, so depending on the amount of melanin pigment, so coloration is gonna vary. So this is the Malfidian layer. Okay, so Malfidian layer is the one which is having this particular pigment. Okay, so that is the melanin pigment. So the different quantities of pigment, so depending on how much of a the melanin is there. Okay, so depending on that the skin complexion is gonna vary. So different quantities of this pigment in different human races lead to a very light brown to dark coloration of the skin. Okay, so this one, you know, presence of this melanin, so this can be genetic also. Okay, so genetic because you know the skin coloration is not expressed by only one gene, so there are multiple genes can be there, multiple genes are to play role there, and depending on that only the variation in skin color we can find. So in African Negroes have genetically dark colored skin, the Europeans are having a light colored skin, and most Indians are intermediate colored skins, that is wheatish skin. Okay, which can also be called as a mulatto. Okay, so in fair colored people on continued exposure to sunlight, okay, so the face or the other parts of the body will get tanned. Okay, but they can revert back to the original condition when the exposure is cut down. Okay, so what happens now as they get, okay, so in fair color people, so as they get exposed to the sun, okay, so their skin is gonna get tanned, but this tan is not permanent, but this can revert back to the original condition when the exposure is cut down. So this is with respect to skin. Now the skin pigment acts like an umbrella, okay, that is to protect the inner parts of the body, that is from the harmful effects of the UV rays. So we saw the function of skin, right? So that is to protect your skin, I mean protect your internal organs or any of the cells of the skin, what are they, so that is from a UV light, so that the cancer can be prevented. And how exactly this is done? Because the skin is having a pigment, okay, so that is actually the melanin pigment. Okay, so this melanin acts as an umbrella to protect the inner part of the body, that is from the harmful effects of the ultraviolet rays. So the skin pigment is nothing but the melanin pigment. Okay, so this is going to prevent, melanin only have written, no, yeah, so from the ultraviolet rays of the sunlight. Okay, so the abnormal conditions which we can see with respect to skin pigmentation. Okay, so leukodharma, okay, so lot of questions are asked, so I have seen a question, sample question papers also from different schools will be there, right? So they have asked the questions on this one and this one. Okay, so you will get questions on this one, this is important. Leukodharma, when we mention the skin pigmentation, that is melanin is lost from the smaller or larger patches, that is at different regions of the body. Okay, so different regions of the body, so they have lost a melanin pigment. So skin pigmentation is lost from smaller. So let's say this is the skin now. Okay, so from this skin, you know, melanin pigment is lost from the patches. Okay, so let's say this is completely, so here one patch is there, so here another patch, and here one patch. So this patch will be white in color, like you know, like not exactly white, so somewhat a creamish color we can say. Okay, so or a whitish also we can mention anyway. So this is a completely here and all, so this will be a melanin pigment itself, but in patches we can see that melanin is lost, so that we can mention vitiligo or a Leukodharma. Okay, so albinism, when we mention, so complete loss of pigmentation of the skin will occur, that is all over the body, including the hair, the eyebrows, okay, eyelashes, or even the iris as well. Okay, so iris, that also will turn whitish. Okay, so you have this black eye, brown eye, blue eye. So all this is mainly because of the pigment which is there in the iris part. But what happens if the iris is also losing a melanin, because iris will also have a melanin. Okay, so if iris is also losing a melanin, then in that case it is a complete albinism, where an individual is going to turn completely whitish in color. Okay, so that is a very fair skin color type we can mention. So skin of such person appears pinkish. Okay, so this can be pinkish, so they appear pinkish because of the underlying blood capillary, because the blood capillaries are seen clearly, like not exactly seen, there will be a tinge of this blood capillary, as the blood capillary is there, and the blood keeps on flowing through them. So the skin appears to be somewhat pinkish. Okay, because since this pigment is completely lost, to hide that cover, like hide the all the this inner color what is there, that is with respect to blood itself. Okay, so albinism is a recessive trait which is caused due to inheritance. So an albino couple would get all the albino children. So if albino couple, so one is completely albino male is there, completely albino female is there, so when they get married, so they can give rise to albino children itself. Okay, so this is with respect to the epidermal part, which is having the the melanin. So moving on to the dermis part. So dermis is the inner thick layer of connective tissue, okay, which will have elastic fibers. So this is, since there is elastic fiber is there, so it can be tougher also, it can be flexible also. At certain places dermis in our skin is very thick. Okay, so again with respect to palm and soles, and very thin at other places, as in the case of eyelid. So dermis contains several other structures. Okay, so there are blood vessels, there are nerve fibers, then there are sensory organs, then hair follicles, then sweat glands. So all these can be found at the dermis. So sensory organ with respect to neurons can be found there. Okay, so this is the dermis contains several other structures. So this is nerve fibers, the sensory organs which are there. Okay, so in them also we can find this region. So then hair follicle, sweat gland, then the leather obtained from the hides of animals is actually the dermis part of the skin itself. Then outer region of the dermis, which lies next to the epidermis, is raised into the numerous small processes. You can find numerous small processes as such. So those are papillae, which will have blood capillaries and nerve endings. Okay, so the nerve endings and the sense organs are concerned with the sensation of touch and pain. So this is with respect to skin itself. So there are nerve endings, okay, of these particular sense organs. So sense organ is what now? Skin. Okay, so skin is the sense organ, and at skin we can find these nerve endings. Okay, so that is basically epithelial tissue itself. And if the epithelial tissue is having this particular neuron or a nerve ending, like let's say axon might be there. Okay, so in all these cases, so this we can call as a specialized epithelium, which can make you feel the sensations. Okay, so that is sensation of touch and pain can be felt. So sharp sense of touch in the skin of fingertips tips. So this enables the blind to read the braille characters. Okay, so this is with respect to, so if there are sharp sense of touch in the in the skin of fingertips, all right, so this will enable to read the blind also, to enable the blind also to read the braille characters. So there are some more sense receptors in the deeper parts, all right, so some more sense receptors in deeper parts which are concerned with the sensation. Okay, so the receptors, when we mention, again this is with respect to neurons which are present in these epithelial cells. Okay, so because of that, what can happen, so in deeper parts which are concerned with the sensation of pressure, the pain, then heat, cold, etc. can be felt, so because of the neuron endings which are present. So next is the fat, so layer beneath the dermis. So let's say this is the epidermis part now, okay, below is the dermis part. All right, so layer beneath the dermis contains a numerous fat cells. So there is a hypodermis as well, okay. So this is now a hypodermis which will have adipose tissue or a fat cell. So this subcutaneous fat not only serves as a food reserve but also act as a heat insulating material as well as a shock absorber. So these are the functions with respect to hypodermis, okay. So this is hypodermis, this one is a dermis, and this one is a epidermis. All right, so I think we are done with today's session, okay. So we saw the structure of a skin. So you have any doubts, you can you can get in touch with me, or you can contact the counselor number which is provided. So you can follow me on the Telegram. So all you need to do is download the Unacademy Learner app, and you can search for my name, Vani Kari. So there also you can find me, or you can join my Telegram channel, Vani Kari ICSE class 9 and 10. So there I'll be sending the updates also, like regarding homework or class related notes, I'll be sending there, okay. So skin pigment is lost in patches, okay. So one second. So skin pigment is lost in patches from different regions of a body. So that is called as albinism, vitiligo, melanin, and all the above. So it is the vitiligo because it is lost in patches, not all over the body. So all over the body it is albinism, or this can also be called as a leukodharma, okay. So this can also be called as a leukodharma. So next is the protein found in dead cells, so nail, hair, etc. is keratin, okay. So epidermis is made up of columnar epithelium, the stratified epithelium, squamous epithelium, cuboidal. Stratified, so stratified meaning is any of these epithelium, it can be columnar, it can be squamous or a cuboidal, but not just a one layer, multiple layers of a skin will be there, okay. So multiple layers are there, so that we call as a compound, okay, or can also be called as a stratum or a stratified epithelium, okay. So before I end the session, let me just say about this. So you get one more chance to win the scholarship and to win the different prizes. So Unacademy Prodigy is extended. So see you on Feb 27. So crack it to win prizes worth rupees 10 crore. So timing is gonna be 12 to 1 p.m. So here you will stand a chance to win the scholarship, the different prizes like MacBook, the iPhone, then Amazon Echo Dot, then Amazon Watcher. So you will win all of this, and you can enroll now for free. And the code is, so to unlock, so all you need to do is download the Unacademy Learners app. So there you will find the link, or also you can find the link in the description box as well, okay. So this is with respect to description box. And other than that, so it will ask you a referral code to unlock. So you can use my referral code VANIYT to unlock this one, okay. So to unlock the Prodigy, you can use the referral code VANIYT. And for plus learners on Unacademy app, okay, so we have two batches going on right now. So there is a Udan batch, and then there is a Champions batch. So mode of delivery is Hindi here, mode of delivery is English over here. So you can join these batches only if you are going for a plus subscription, and there is a offer. So with the referral code VANIYT, so you can take up this particular subscription, so where you will be getting 20% discount, and also you have this the offer of 12+2. That means if you are going for 12 months of subscription, so there is extra 2 months subscription that you are going to get. So you can use this code as well. So one shot revision we are conducting. So how to watch my special classes? All you need to do is download the Unacademy Learner app, open the app and click on get started. Then you can enter your mobile number and the OTP, and then you can enter your name, your detail, or you can sign up using the email ID. Then you need to choose your class, that is class 6 to 12, you can choose. So there is ICSE category which is available, so you can select ICSE category. Okay, then you can select the language of your preference, any of these, and in description box you will find a link, so you can click on the link and you can press on notify me. So whenever my classes will be there, so you will be getting a notification 10 minutes before if you have pressed on notify me. Okay, also you can use the code Vani YT to unblock free products that are there on Unacademy. So there are many free products, so using this particular code Vani YT you can unlock the free products that are there on the Unacademy app. Okay, also for taking subscription, so you can use my referral code Vani YT. Again, with this referral code, today, only today, you are getting 20% discount. From tomorrow onwards, again it will be 10% discount. So if you are planning to take a subscription, so from tomorrow it will be like 20% discount you are going to get. Okay, all right. Okay, so you can get in touch with your counselors. You have queries about the preparation journey, subscription or latest offer, so you can call in this number, and this is my referral code Vani YT. Okay, so download the Unacademy app now. Try all of these features for free. You can use this code for subscription. You can use this code for unlocking as also. So you can subscribe us now, that is on Unacademy ICSE and ISC boards. Download the Unacademy Learners app and start using it, so you can use many free products that are available on Unacademy, and you can unlock them using the Vani YT. Okay, so see you all in the next session. Bye bye everyone. Thank you so much. Take care.